I'm sure many people I just met and they have heard me earlier, but still I have a habit of repeating it. So excuse me if I do that. How many people? So I have a habit of like knowing the audience whom I am catering to. So how many people follow technical analysis? Okay. So topic change करना चाहिए था क्या? Okay. Anyways, how many people follow derivative analysis? Okay. Fundamentals, quant. Okay. Couple of people I can see follow astrology. That's why they are not raising their hands. Because if you're not doing one of these, तो पंडित को ही portfolio दिखाना पड़ेगा. We'll start with the types of algorithms. So as we know that it's an algo summit, so I don't need to explain about what these are. But basically there are execution algorithms, arbitrage, market making algorithms, jobbing, scalping, right? But what we have been into for a very long time is decision making algorithms. So we don't want speed from the system to go and execute the trade. That's not the agenda for today, what I'm showing. It's more to do with, can the system decide on your behalf? Can it take a call on your behalf, right? So that's the agenda that we generally go for. So that's just a normal, trading system. So if you look at any of the trading systems, you get buy or sell ideas on the chart, right? And I'm sure people have been using it in their daily lives. And this is how the normal statistics of a system would be. 50% strike rate, bazaar kisi ka nahi sunta hai, it's random, right? And then you have a return which will be marginally negative because aapne brokerage de diya kisi ko. And there's a drawdown which is there. So people talk a lot about how to make better systems, right? Can you have a system which can perform better, which can have a 70% strike rate, which can have an 80% strike rate? I'm coming with a completely different thought. Can we have the same system, use the arbitrage that I'm talking about, and improve this? No matter whatever the system you are using right now, can we leverage that with something else? Is the idea that we'll be talking about today. So why the system doesn't succeed? Market is something like this, right? So no matter whatever you feel, there will always be a roller coaster ride. And that's how it is, it's random. If you look at the data, so for people who like to follow Bollinger Band or who like to follow mean reversion, so there is a theory of normal distribution that you are assuming that persists in the data. Is that true? This data doesn't say that it is true, because what we have done is we have taken different time frames and of the most stable instrument of Nifty. And if you look at the first chart, we can see for a normal distribution, just let me give you a brief about how it should be. The skewness should be 0 and the kurtosis should be 3. If you look at this data, the first chart, skewness is marginally negative, the kurtosis is significantly down, it is 1.87. The next one has a different data where the skewness is negative. Then the third one, again, we have a negative skewness in the short kurtosis. And in the same way, the last one, if you see, the skewness is 0.2 and the kurtosis is negative, right? So for a normal distribution to hold, that a mean reversion will happen and you'll be able to track it with a 95% probability or 99% probability doesn't work, because the problem is that the market is more and more random and you are trying to model randomness. So how can we deal with this? So I'm sure, a lot of people must have been trading options, but I'll just give you a brief about, how options help, and then we'll jump to how to use it better. If you look at the futures payoff, it's linear. Nothing to do with, any other thing. If 1 point goes up, that's my profit. If 1 point goes down, that's my loss, right? But the beauty of options is that if you make money, you get the upside. If you lose, there's a limited downside, and that's why you see that the red line actually stabilizes. And that's called a non-linear payoff. Unlike futures, options can give you something called as a non-linear payoff. So now if you look at one example, just to brush up on the thing. In the case one, if I believe that the Nifty can go up by 100 points and I want to keep a 20-point stop loss, the target profit is 7,500, the stop loss would have been 1,500, the margin would have been 51,000 approximately, and the return that I'll make on this trade is 14%. Whereas if the same trade is taken in options and if that goes right, what I make on the investment is 300% obviously the absolute profit is marginally lesser, but the return on investment is how much? 300%, which is significantly higher than what we can get in futures. If the same call goes wrong, and let's say there was a gap down opening and you ended up losing 100 point on the stop loss. So what happens in this case? Again, the stop loss is 7,500 in futures. So you have a return which is minus 7.5. Even though in options we have lost 100% of it, but if you look at the absolute loss, it's just 1,500 rupees, and the absolute loss in futures is how much? 7,500 rupees. So what did we learn? Just to recap, when we are making money, we are making a decent return. When we are losing money, we are losing less. That was the initial chart also showed, and that's what this payoff tells us. So what are the types of forecasts? Normally people talk about bullish, bearish, but honestly there are 4 types of forecasts that you can have. The first one is bullish, the second one is bearish, and you can trade them with futures. Now if I want to say कि मुझे तेजी भी करना है, मंदी भी करना है, right? अभी budget है, I think either it will go up by 300 point or it will go down by 300 point. What do? I cannot buy and sell the same futures, right? If I say that the market will remain sideways, my future will not yield me anything. But options is something where you can still make money on the same thing, and it's a valid forecast. So let's assume that there's a monetary policy and you have a view that after the policy, if there is a 50 bips of rate cut, market might go up by 500 point, and maybe the market is expecting something. If it doesn't happen, it might go down by 500 point. So what happens? If you choose futures, there's no trade because you cannot go long and short at the same time. But if you choose options, what you can do is you can buy and sell a call, you can buy a call and a put at the same time. Let's say after the announcement is out, there is a movement of 400 points. Whichever ways, it doesn't matter. What happens is, net combined premium that you paid was 200. The expected movement was 500 points. The actual movement is 400. The profit that you make is roughly 200 points. So even when you don't know what the outcome will be, whether the market will go up or whether the market will go down, you can still make money. I will come to that. I know there are smarter people in the room. But I'll show that I don't want to like confuse you. If you just look at it with a very plain perspective, that's how it is, right? But yes, if you have a expectation that the combined premium is 200, but I feel that after the event it will just be 150, you can sell both of them, right? So that's a call on IV, absolutely. But just to keep it simple, this is how it works, right? So what I'm trying to explain is how can you trade a either ways direction using options. So now let's come to the complexity when we want to create an option strategy. So now this is a question to all. Look at this. The target on Nifty for this example, that's not my view, right, is let's say 11,000. And the stop loss that I want to keep on Nifty is 10,500. And I believe that this can happen in 20 days. Okay? You have the NSE's option chain right now. Tell me which strike price should I buy, which call strike should I buy, will give me maximum profit. Anyone? So the question is, I'll just repeat it. I feel that the market will go up to 11,000 in 20 days and the stop loss is 10,500. I'm talking about a simple strategy, long call. You have the option chain, different IVs, different time, theta decay, right? Different strikes, and it's not the expiry day. 20 days, let's assume, is not the expiry day. Which strike should I buy? Which one? OTM में बहुत सारा है sir, कौन सा लूँ? I want to trade one. So everyone will have a different opinion, but if you look within, you don't know the answer. Done? 11,000. Are you sure? I'll come to that again, bull spread. But do we have an answer? Let's be honest. It's complex. आधा से ज़्यादा जगह we see that the IVs are not available because it is quoting below the intrinsic value. Why should I not buy that? Yes, I should buy that, right? I'll show you. If you look at this case, the IVs is in dash, which means what? NSE was not able to calculate it. It closed with an arbitrage. It's below the intrinsic value. Why should we not go and buy that? So that's a myth. But at the same time, if I trade a bull call spread, which means that I'm buying 11,000 and I'm selling 11,300 call option. What happens? My net outflow goes down. If this call goes right, I make 15,000 profit instead of 11,250. Agreed? Right? So instead of just buying a long call, if I sell one where I believe that 11,300 is my target and anything above that I'm okay with even if I don't get. So I'm making 15,000 rupees profit, which is an additional return on the same call. If this call goes wrong, what happens? If the stop loss is hit, let's say the market goes down to 10,900. In that case, I lose 11,250. But if I have done a bull call spread, I lose 7,500 because I was compensated to a certain extent of the premium outflow that I've done. So this is how, in fact, a multi-leg strategy would help you. We don't do it in our real life. Very less people actually go and do multi-leg strategies because of the complexity, let's be honest. How do you go and calculate that? Pardon? Yes, you pay the margin, but even if you look at the ROI, it is good. And many people do give stocks against it, right? So you don't actually pay margins. You might pay it in stocks, 50% stocks, 50% cash. There are ways, but there might exist a better answer even with the ROI, right? So this is why I'm not making it very complex that, why do 4-leg, whether we should do 2-leg, and there are trillions of combination is what we'll see shortly. And how can we choose a strategy from that is something that we'll learn today. So if we look at the combinations now, Nifty has 65 strikes, it has call input, and we can buy and sell. If we want to create a multi-leg strategy, for a 2-leg, the combinations are 33,670. And if you want to create a 4-leg strategy, that's roughly 200 million combinations that exist if you want to create a option strategy on a forecast. Do you think it is possible manually? Excel mein bhi nahi hoega, right? Because that needs an intense compute. Unless and until you have that, how do you know that this is the best answer? And this is the optimal strategy to do, right? So why we introduce systems? But there exists an answer, right? If I can compute everything, there exists an answer, then I can find which is the best one. So this is how we use the compute capability of the system, of the servers, to figure out what should be the strategy that we should execute. Now again, it is not that simple because there are other things as well. So what happens is normally when people don't do this kind of a compute, they end up being sticky to strategies. So I have had like more than 7-8 derivative analysts in my team earlier, best minds in the industry. But what happens if I go to them, if I give them a call, kya karna chahiye? Bull call spread. Kya karna chahiye? Bull call spread. Right? So every time they would just do the same thing. Or maybe sometimes if I say, no, I don't want to do this, they have one backup, that's all. Right? Because you cannot calculate, even if you are experienced 15 years, 20 years, you cannot calculate so many probabilities in your mind and you stick to certain strategies which have worked for you. But that doesn't mean that that's the best one. You lose on time value, you are not able to calculate the Greeks in mind, right? There's a reduced probability of success. And most importantly, the reward to risk on the same trade is something that you are not able to optimize unless and until you are choosing the best one. So now if you look at the further complexity, because it's not just that much what has to be dealt with, there is something called as time value, theta decay, right? So when you are trading options, theta decay is something which you'll have to take care of. You have volatility. So what happens if the volatility goes up? If I take a strategy and if I'm doing it on Excel and if I'm trying to calculate whether I'm covered for volatility shifts, what happens if the entire volatility skew goes up by 25%? Maybe there was no event lined up, but some announcement is about to come now. And before the event, the volatility has started shooting up. So how do you know whether your strategy is covered for or 25% shift in the volatility upward, or maybe after the event, the volatility is going down, do you know that even if the volatility goes down by 50%, my strategy should be covered? Can I go and compute something which can cover all of these scenarios? And then there are further constraints to that. I have limited capital, so I cannot put unlimited capital. If I have 1 lakh rupees, I have 1 lakh rupees, simple. The strategy has to fit my pocket. There is a risk appetite that I have. If I can lose not more than 10,000 rupees in a strategy, that's one more constraint, right? And different people will have different constraints. Similarly, I can only take a trade on the bid and ask, right? So if I'm calculating on LTP, it will not make sense. And there could be boundaries. So for people who want to like do something advanced like ratios, so there's no count to how much the multiple could be. Someone is comfortable with a ratio of 2, like buying 1 and selling 2 option. Someone is comfortable with 10. Maybe they have a better risk management. So that depends on preference. But overall, what we understand so far is that creating an option strategy is not easy. We saw 200 million combinations. After adding for these many more dimensions, what happens is that the overall combination shifts to trillions of them, right? Because I'm adding more dimension to the same optimization. If you look at the data, that's another culprit, because what happens is I've taken this screenshot 2 days back from our application, the data for Nifty and Bank Nifty volatility. So this is the volatility skew. If you look at that, it's completely, it's not reliable. You cannot just go and deploy a system on that, because it will figure out that, okay, this IV is less, let's go and buy that, and something is more expensive, let's go and sell that, and I'll make money. But actually it will not happen, because the market is not able to price that instrument properly. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's assume the market at 3:30 closed at 11,000. A 10,900 call was quoting at 110 rupees at 325, okay? So what might have happened is the market in the last 5 minutes fell down. But there was no trade in 10,900 call. NSE will still report it, right? Sorry, if it was quoting at 90, not 110, if it was quoting at 90 and the market went up in the last 5 minutes, the actual price should have been at least 100. 10,900 ka call hai, 11,000 is the closing. It should have been at least 100, but there was no trading in it. That's why the prices were not adjusted. NSE will still report it at 90 and they will show a dash. Your systems will try and figure out, okay, there's an arbitrage opportunity. Let's go and buy this and you'll make a lot of money. But it will not happen, because when you go and take that trade, you'll not get that, right? So the volatility, again, it's not just that, that's one of the simplest example. But if you look at the volatility skew, it's completely weird. So how do you deal with that kind of a data? So what we did at Consap is that if someone was feeling that this is not for me, the option strategies are complex, we have made it simple. If you have a smartphone and if you have your thumb working properly to click, that's all we need. Okay, so we'll see how exactly we can help you with that. So this is our application, and there are a lot of things that we have made and will be developing going forward, but I'll show you the core algorithm that we have called as Optimizer. So before we do that, we'll just build on one of the examples. So this is the compute, basically is what we are trying to leverage on. And Optimizer takes care of these parameters which we just discussed. So let's skip directly to an example. Let's assume, so we did discuss about creating a strategy. Now let's see how we can create one from those trillion combinations that are possible, okay? So let's assume that the market view that I have is bullish, okay? The current market price, as we know, is 10,755 for Nifty futures. And I expect that the market can go up to 11,050. That's 295 points upside, okay? And the stop loss that I want to keep for this trade is 10,550, which is 205 points of downside. The capital that I have is 1 lakh rupees, and the target date for this view to work out is 9th February, which is next Friday. The maximum risk that I want to take is 5,000 rupees on that 1 lakh rupees of maximum margin that is available. And the reward to risk of this strategy, so my original view is what, 11,050 and 10,550. What is the risk to reward in this strategy if I buy a futures? It is 1.44. So not a very lucrative strategy to get into. I would not buy a Nifty future with a 205 point stop loss just for an expectation of 295 point, right? Because there's no decent risk to reward that I have available. And that's what happens. Now let's see if we put the same view and if we want to do the same thing on options, what happens, okay? So we'll jump to our application and we'll say we want to find a strategy. So the first thing that we enter is Nifty. So whichever stock or instrument that you want to trade into, you have the current market price populated here. If you want to change the target date, you can do that. But for now, we'll keep it 9th February. So that's our expectation. And I don't want to lose more than 5,000 rupees in this trade. That's all. Everything else is optional. You don't want to really go and tweak that unless and until you know what you're doing. And I'll just say get strategy. And in only this much time, that trillion combinations that I was talking about happened. So thanks to AWS for providing so many servers which can come in real time and we can do this kind of a complex compute. But what happened behind the scene, this algorithm sent a compute to my cloud servers, which pinned up more than 200 or 300 servers that it felt right. The compute was distributed, it calculated everything, computed back the result and showed it to you in the application. And that happens with if you have a decent internet connection, it is actually 0.06 seconds to be precise, right? So you don't need to really go through that exercise of getting those trillion combinations and you have the strategy. So what we see here, our original forecast was 1.44 reward to risk. What it is suggesting me is to do a call ratio backspread, which otherwise I would not know. Okay, and the reward to risk in this strategy is how much? 5.24. If I'm making money, I'm making more money. If I'm losing money, I'm losing less is the idea that we started with, and that is what exactly this is doing. So if the target comes, I'll make 22,833 rupees profit. If the stop loss comes, I'll make roughly 4,300 rupees loss. I'll click on that to see the details. It is telling me which leg exactly I have to execute and how much. So it says that the margin on this strategy will be 99,000, which doesn't exceed the capital constraint that I had, right, and is within that. It says that I should buy 600, which is 8 lots of 10,900 call at the closing price, which is 64.8, and I should sell 4 lots, so which is 300 quantity of 10,750 call, which has closed at 129, okay? If I do that, it has already taken care of 25% volatility up and down as a worst case scenario. So in no case, with a volatility shift, you lose more than 5,000 rupees. So if you see that over here, this table says that 4,356 will be the loss if your view goes wrong. But if the IV is in your favor, your profit will go up, your loss will also reduce. If the IV is not in your favor, which means that 25% shift, your profit goes down, but your loss still remains 3,500 rupees. So in no case you have a more than 5,000 rupees loss. Sometimes the drawdown may be somewhere around that, right? And it will inform you that this is the drawdown possible within the range that you have specified. So if you look at that, it says that 11,050 will be the point where you will make the maximum profit, which is 22,833. And the level of 10,671 is the only point where exactly if it remains on the day that you have selected. And one thing I should tell you, it's not the expiry day. The number of days is 6, which means that this is not the expiry day. It is taking care of pre-expiry payoffs, right? So it's calculating the span margin over there. So it will take care of, so again, as you said, there is a big constraint of margining system. So margining system is not linear. If you buy an option, if you sell one, the margin again reduces. If you just sell, the margin increases. So it's taking care of everything. You don't have to really think about anything. Pardon? Right. No. So ideally the span margin, if you go and calculate it anywhere, it is 99,120. The broker might be charging you an exposure margin, which is between you and the broker to negotiate. But the span margin is 99,120. Okay, and we have a span calculator as well. If you want to know how much the broker will charge you, you can just put the exposure margin there and it will tell you how much is the actual margin that the broker charges you. But what we are showing here is span because each broker can have a different margin. But span what exchange charges is this, right?
Conclude.
So I'll just take the questions later. I'll just finish this off because one more thing and we are done. Okay, so this is how you can track it. If I want to analyze it further, I can click on analyze and I can see that this is the payoff. Okay, if I want to know what happens on the 9th day, I can just change this. What happens if the volatility goes down, I can see what the payoff is. And if I want to see a tabulature view, even that is visible. So this is how the optimizer can help you. And if you can develop your own, nothing like it. But basically the idea that I wanted to share is that we have been investing a lot of time in finding a better system. But if you can shift the same thing into trading options, maybe the same system can give you a better enhanced return because you are enhancing the profitability or the payoff of those signals that you are receiving from your own system. So that's all from my side.